today's session. Now, in yesterday's session, I showed you how to create a class. Then I told that you can create empty class first. Then how to create object, how to access properties using dot operator. Then I told you how to add properties later after creating an empty class. So that example we saw, right? If you remember this. So I created an empty class cat. Empty why? Because here there is no code block pass. Then I created objects. How to create object that you know. Class name round bracket, class name round bracket. So I created one object, one more object. Then I added properties in it, right? And then I displayed values of that properties. Now my question is, what drawbacks you see in this code? Okay, from coding perspective, object-oriented programming perspective. What drawbacks you see in this code? Any observation by seeing this code? Okay.
Sir,
Right.
if there are common attributes to all objects, that also needs to write multiple times.
Means you want to say same thing, you have to do it again and again,
Right.
right? Means assign
Repetition.
repetition. That is very important word you have used. Redundancy or repetition. So is there repetition of logic? That is assigning value to the properties. Assigning values, giving some values to the property, adding that property. So this logic of assigning values to the property, is it getting repeated for each object? For every object you are repeating the same logic, right?
Yes.
And here, okay, two properties are there, that is okay. But if that object is having 10, 15 properties, so is it a feasible way? So one thing you are observing here, that the logic is getting repeated for each object again. Same way for printing that object property. I want to print money's properties. So I wrote one logic of printing. Is the same printing logic again repeating for kitty also? Getting? So there has to be some provision by which this whole repeated code will put it in one function and just will call that function for each object, or will write one function which will print this data. Reading? So this printing logic, I'll put it in one function and I'll just call that function two times, one for money, one for kitty. Getting? So that should happen. So one observation you can do over here, that is repetition, redundancy of logic. And second, you can say there is poor abstraction. Clear? Logic abstraction also, information abstraction, means data abstraction, and object oriented programming normally focuses or insists on hiding. They say that the logic, the data should be hidden. The end user will be only able to create objects and call the methods. You understanding? Which we did it in the previous chapter. We created a list object and then we called the methods list object dot append dot extend, whatever. But we were not knowing how that list class is developed. Getting or no? All the methods are developed within it. We are just using that method. Getting? So two things you can observe from this, two demerit. One, repetition of logic. Getting? And second, poor abstraction. This whole thing should get hidden within some function. This logic of printing should get hidden. This logic of assigning should get hidden in one function. And later we should just keep calling that function for each object. Getting? So it will become more cleaner code also. Elegant code, clean code, manageable code. Okay, code will be more manageable if that whole repetition is put once only within the function. Okay, so one drawback, as Shweta said, that code redundancy is there. That is, same logic is repeated for each object. Logic of assigning values to the property, logic of printing that properties. If I want to print that property, so for printing purpose also I have written one print function. But is that print logic written again and again for each object? Yes. Initialization logic again for each object. And there is no abstraction, not even data abstraction, even logic abstraction. Data, is the data getting easily accessed in the outside world? Means you are directly creating object and directly assigning properties to it, right? So poor information hiding, also poor data hiding. Okay, so how to overcome this then? So obviously this you can overcome by adding methods within your class. Means you're understanding what I'm trying to tell you. That repeated logic, you put it once only within some function and then call that function again for each object. So when you call the function, the code within that function is getting reused, no? Right? What I'm saying. So to overcome that drawback, which drawback? To overcome the redundancy problem, code repetition problem, again you are writing that same code again. So that problem you want to overcome, and you want to keep the information hidden within the class. Okay, so to overcome it, there is one solution: add methods. Now you'll say, what do you mean by method? So you can say method is a function but within the class body. It's a function within class body. So this is your class, whatever class is, class name. And inside that, when you define one function, def function, whatever function name, we'll also call it as a method name, right? Round bracket, one argument is compulsory, and after that you can pass many more parameters, okay, if you want. But one is compulsory, that is self, and then some code inside it. Now you'll say, what is that self? We'll talk about it. Is the self name keyword? Is it a keyword? Is it reserve word? Everything we'll talk about it, don't worry. But every method should have this one, that is self. Okay, and then many more parameters, and then the logic inside it. Okay, now what the benefit you are going to get? The repeated logic, the redundant logic is getting within this function. It will go inside this function. So as the repeated logic go inside the function, redundancy is gone. Moreover, when you put within the function, reusability is happening. You can reuse the same code again. Your main code will look more elegant code. It will be more manageable code. Why? Because if there are any changes to be done, any bug fixing is to be done, you just have to fix the bug within that function. Getting? You don't have to go everywhere where the code is repeated. If the code is repeated, so everywhere you have to go and check the error. Everywhere you have to do the modification. Now the modification is to be done only once within the method. Bug fixing is to be done only once. So that advantages you get. Clear? Now we'll talk about self, but what is method that I told you? So method is a function defined inside, okay, is a function defined inside the class body. So whenever you're defining your normal function, def, function name, bracket, parameter, colon, then the body, same, normal which we were doing in chapter 3. I hope chapter 3 you remember. Yes or no guys? Chapter 3, functions, user defined functions, then all the techniques of passing parameters, all we have learned. So when you're defining that function, but where inside the class body, then we'll call it as a method. Okay, and methods will contain what? Logic, algorithm, in which your data is getting accessed or manipulated. Your data is getting manipulated, your data is getting accessed within that method. Okay, so contains logic to access or manipulate data. Now the common syntax is like this: class, then your class name, def, method name, minimum one argument, that is self, a compulsory argument, but name not compulsory. Name you can give your choice. I'll come to it, we'll talk that separately. But self, comma, and then many more parameters. Now those who know C++ and Java, they can relate it, like in those languages also one argument is passed called as this. But in those language it is hidden passed, means implicitly passed. Here you have to write, you have to define. Okay, and then many more parameters, and then the method body. Okay, I hope it is clear. See here. So in Python there is no way of declaring instance data member. Instance data members declaration concept is not there, which I told you yesterday only. Right? Like in C++, you C++ or if it is Java, so here only you write class cat, and then at the beginning you write private, int, weight, height, whatever. And if you write private static int x equal to 100, then this becomes a class data member. In those language I'm talking. I'm sure yesterday I told you about this. So x, as it is given static, it becomes a class data member. Class data member means it is common to all object. And here I didn't wrote static. So it is an instance data. It belongs to each object. Every object will have its own weight. But such data member declaration facility we have in C++ Java. Here there is no such concept. Python says in your class you cannot define your data member. Getting? Only class data member you can give. Like this. But these become class data member. They are not instance data member. They are not belonging to the object. Then how you will add instance data members in the object? So Python says as many, if you remember yesterday I have told you, def, then whatever your method, self, many more things can come. As many what come? Self dot property equal to value. I hope you remember this. So as many times self dot property equal to value will come, that many properties are runtime added in that object. Getting? So there is no provision over here to declare class data member, which we do it in Java, which we do it in C++, even in C#, even in PHP. Here we have facility of giving, but PHP gives facility but optional. Here there is no facility only. Python says you have to add the data members in your object by this statement only within the body. Okay, see here. So in Python there is no way of declaring instance data members in a class as like in C++ or Java. Okay, so if there is a which type of statement within the body, within that method body, this statement self dot property equal to value, then runtime it will add this property in this object and give this value to that property. You understanding? So if there is such statement in the method, then that attribute becomes the instance data member. Because why it becomes an instance data member? Because this property are added to that particular object. They belong to that object. Okay? Right? I hope it is clear to you guys. Basic understanding. Now we'll talk about what is self, then we'll try to overcome the drawback of the previous program. Okay, whatever previous program we wrote, we'll try to overcome the drawback of that previous program. Right? So till here it is clear, guys. Just give me quick confirmation. Now we are going to talk in detail about self. What is self? We'll talk about that too. Don't worry. Okay? Okay, I'll come to that later. Now what I'll do is the previous program which was having this drawback, redundancy, and the data was not getting hidden, that will try to do it using methods. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll create one more program. And along with that only I'll try to explain all this thing. Okay, see, I'm creating one class called cat only again. Within that, I'm going to add one method called setData, to which one compulsory argument self will come. Then I'll pass weight and color. Now these are the arguments, weight and color. These are the arguments, and all the arguments are always, means these are the parameters, and parameters are always local. They are local to function. They only belong to that function. Okay, and then inside that code I'm adding that weight and color to self weight and color. See here, self I'm adding one property weight, and to self I'm giving one property called color. Okay, now W and C have given name. It's not mandatory. You can give here also complete name weight, complete name color. Still, okay, you have to write this side self dot weight only equal to weight, and self dot color equal to color. Okay, okay, I hope you are understanding. So runtime it will add one property weight in self, one property color in self, and that weight and color is initialized with this weight and color, which is passed as a parameter. See here, only weight, only color which I have written, only weight, only color, they both are local variables. They are the parameters of your function. They are local. And to self runtime I'm adding one property called weight. I'm adding one property called color. Okay. Now I'm writing one more method called meow, to which also self is passed. And within that I am printing. Okay. So that you should be able to observe the drawback of the previous program, how we have tried to overcome here. Okay, see here now. So there, that initialization logic of adding weight and color, which we were repeating for each object, money.weight, money.color, kitty.weight, kitty.color, and same way printing the data of money, printing the data of kitty. 2 times print I wrote. How I am going to do it? Generalize once only in this meow method. So meow, my weight is comma self dot weight, and my color is comma self dot color. Okay. Now this class is done with these 2 methods. You agreeing, guys? This class cat is created, 2 methods are added, one is setData and another is meow. Okay, these 2 methods are put into it. Now next what I'm going to do is I'm going to create objects of this class. Money equal to cat, kitty equal to cat. Then I'm going to call money dot set data, and I'm just going to pass the weight and color. Clear? Red, I don't know, weird color. I never saw a red color cat. ठीक है. Black. And then kitty dot set data 6.3 white angle. ठीक है? Means this initialization logic which you have written, this initialization logic, are you repeating that logic again? No. You are just calling that method set data twice. Once for money, once for kitty. Okay. Same way for printing money's data and for printing kitty's data, I am not going to write print statement twice. I'll just call this meow twice. Once for money, clear? That is meow. And once for kitty, that is meow. Okay? Now remember this statement which we have written here, you can call this way as well. Cat dot set data money comma 4.5 comma black. Okay? Please understand. Right? This way also you can write, this way also. Both facilities Python has given. You can write money dot set data 4.5 black or cat dot set data money 4.5 black. Clear? Somewhat understanding you are getting. Okay, what is internally happening. Clear? Same way, cat dot set data kitty comma 6.3 comma white. Both way valid. Either do this way or this way. Same way here also. Clear? You can write cat dot meow and pass money. Cat dot meow pass kitty. Both concepts are applicable. Okay? Now from this we are going to understand what is self. Okay? And where these methods go. Do they belong to individual object or do they go in the class namespace? All that one by one we'll discuss. Okay? Now next point what I want to tell you is, okay, so till here I hope you got it. Now if I run this, you'll get the appropriate output. Clear? See here. Why? Because you created money object, you created kitty object, then you called set data. These two things are passed here in weight and color. That is copied in self weight, self color. Okay. Same way when kitty dot set data, these two things are passed here, that is copied in self weight, self color. But who is self? So who is invoking that method? That is self. So that time set data is invoked by whom? Money. So money's reference is in self. And second time, who has invoked set data? Kitty. So kitty's reference is there in self. Getting? So now let's talk about what is self and where these methods get saved. Getting? Okay? See here. First understand this, then again maybe you have some queries, then you can ask me. Okay? See here, whenever you create any class and you add data and methods in it. Okay? So if you have created one class cat and in that you have added one method called set data and you have added one method called meow, that function. Clear? So when you add any functions within the class, they are not duplicated for each object. Means as many objects you make, only the data is duplicated, not the methods. Clear? Means if I create one money object, if I create one kitty object, so weight and color, that is the data of that object. Which data? Instance data. That will duplicate for each object. For money object, there will be weight color. For kitty object, there will be weight color. But the method set data, the method meow is not duplicated. You understanding? So that method is going to exist only once within the class namespace. What I want to try to tell you, see here, clear? Gradually, let me complete my all explanation, and then maybe you have some curiosity, questions, doubts, you can ask me. Okay? So whenever you create a class and in that you add methods, okay, those methods are not duplicated for each object. So as many object you make, that many times only what is duplicated, class data or instance data?
Instance data.
Instance data. Getting? So instance data will only duplicate. That is that weight and the color, weight and the color. But functions, that is the methods, copy will only exist once in the class namespace. You understanding? Clear? So initially that weight and color was not there. Okay, class was created, methods are added, set data, meow. Okay, class got loaded in some common namespace. Then you created two objects. One you created money object. Then you created kitty object. When you create object, that time also they don't have properties. See carefully. They are not having properties. But when you called money dot set data and you passed two values and kitty dot set data and then you pass two values. Now in both the contexts, is the set data called different or same only? Means is the set data called of their own, means their own copy set data, or is the common set data only called? What I'm asking is,
Common.
means the same set data is called. No? For the first time also the same set data, second time also same set data. Means what I mean to say is, when you create any number of object and then you call the methods, okay, so if you are calling the same method again, then the same code is run. Okay, but now you may say, like, if the code run is same, then how does it refer to the individual object, money object or kitty object? So it actually depends on the invoker who is associated with it at the time of calling. In the context of that call, which object is associated? You understanding? Based on that it is decided. Okay, so now this set data is invoked by money. That money is hidden passed to that self. So is there one self parameter to that set? Is set receiving one self parameter? Yes or no, guys?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear? See here. Is it receiving one self parameter? Getting? So when you're calling money dot set data and you're passing two value, kitty dot set data you're passing two value, what happens is implicitly this money is hidden passed as a first argument and your two values get shifted. Getting? Which is directly shown in the second call. Can you see? See here. Cat dot set data money comma 4.5 lakh. Cat dot set data kitty comma. So tell me, in both the contexts, is the set data called different or same? Is the same set data called? Yes. Is the same code run?
Yes.
But the memory referred is same or different?
A particular object.
Meaning different. Clear? So what I mean to say, in both the contexts, the method called is same, the code run is same, but the memory referred is different. One time it is referring money's memory, another time it is referring Kitty's memory, because it depends on the object which is invoking it, in whose context it is invoked. So now money's context, so money is hidden past, Kitty is hidden past, and that money reference will come in self. So now in this context, tell me, when I wrote money.setData, what is self containing? Self is containing whose reference? Money's reference or Kitty's reference?
Money's reference.
Money's reference. Means, is self another name to money now in this context?
Yes, sir.
Means, is self containing the key of money's house? That way I'm saying. Is self containing the reference of money object? Yes. And when you wrote inside that two lines, you added one weight property, one Kitty property in self. Means, is it actually adding in money only? I wrote self dot weight, self dot color. So these two properties are added in self. Are they added, that two property in self? So they are added in self, means they are added in money only. Got it or no? And second time when I called set data, is the method called same?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Is the code run same? Yes, but the value of self is different. Now self contain whose reference?
Kitty's reference.
Kitty's reference. So now when the same two lines get executed, code run is same, but the memory referred is different. You understanding? Clear? So
Yes.
second time when set is called, Kitty is in context to it. The invoker of set is Kitty. So that Kitty's reference is hidden past in self, which is same this in C++ and Java. So I'm not going to confuse here. Here in Python, I'm just trying to explain it. Getting? So second time when you called set, the method called was same, the code run was same, but the memory referred was different. Getting? And which memory it is referring depends on the value of value of self. Correct? And value of self depends on the invoker. Invoker means the object which is in or the object in whose context that method is called. Getting? So I guess it is proved to you. So first time set called, same code run. Second time self called, same code run. But both the time self value was different. Was the self value same in both the contexts? No. First time self is containing money's reference. Therefore it added that height and color in self. But who is self that time? Same money's reference has come, na? So it is accessing whose house? Money's house. So it will add that two property in money object. And second time when I called set, that time self is containing Kitty's reference. So as self is containing Kitty's reference, will it access Kitty object? So the code run is same, but that height and weight or weight and color is added in Kitty object. You got it? Clear? And later when I wrote money.meow, correct? And same way kitty.meow. Again tell me, in both the contexts, is the meow method different called or same meow method called? Meaning, is meow method separate for both object or is it common in the class namespace? Right or no? It is common in the class namespace. It doesn't belong to individual object. So what belongs to individual object? Every object will have only what of their own?
Memory reference.
Class.
I'm asking that
class instance.
what will every object have their own
Instance
Instance.
members.
Instance member.
instance members, that is instance data. Yes or no? Very simple concept. So
Yeah.
every object will have its instance data separately, but the methods are common. They are kept in class namespace. They are not duplicated for each object. Means money object created, again set data meow. Kitty object set data meow. No, set data and meow methods. In short, methods are never duplicated. Methods are always put in which namespace? That class namespace, and it is common to all the objects. You understanding or no? But what is separate for each object? They are data. Especially which data? Instance data. Agreed? So second time when I called meow, meow, both the time is the meow function called different or same from the class namespace?
Same.
Same from the class namespace. Did the code run same? Yes
Yes,
or
sir.
no? Yes.
Yes.
But is the memory referred different or same?
Different.
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 Means inside the memory which it is referring depends on which parameter?
Self.
Self. And
The object.
value of self depends on
The invoker.
the invoker. I hope you got it. So now can we talk about self? Can we write an essay on self? Okay, what is self? Clear? So can we say self is an object containing reference of a invoker object? Can I say like that? Self is an object. Self is an object containing reference of a invoker object. Can I say like that? Means
Yes,
first time when I called set, that time invoker was money. So money's reference gone to self. And second time when I called set, that time who was the invoker object? Kitty. So kitty's reference gone to self. So in short, self contains whose reference? Invoker reference. Okay, point number one. So self is an object containing reference of the invoker object. Okay, then self is a compulsory first argument to every method of your class. Means to every method of your class there is compulsory what? Self argument. You always have to write that self compulsory argument. Okay, then it is hidden past. You don't have to explicitly pass. Explicitly when you'll pass, when you'll invoke it via class name. This way if you invoke na, cat dot set, then you'll not only pass weight and color, that time you'll also pass that object, money or kitty. See here, this call will make it more perfect. Can you see? By observing this call you observe, and from that you see three arguments are passed. One is money, then weight, and then color. Money will come in self, 4.5 will come in weight, black will come in color. So tell me, both time the set data called is same, but the value of self is changing. One time self contains money's reference, second time self contains kitty's reference. You got it or no? Clear? So I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so self is, first point I told, self is an object containing reference of invoker object. Second, it is always passed as first argument to every method. Okay, then it is hidden past. You don't have to explicitly pass. See here, I wrote money.set weight and color. So that money got hidden past in that self. Okay, and self is not a reserved word. It is just a universally accepted name, okay, by the Python community. Clear? So Python community has accepted one name called self, but it is not at all a reserved word. You want to give any name, you can give, but you have to pass that argument. Whatever is that first argument, it will receive the invoker's reference. Clear? For you, I'll show you in this program. See here. Here I am passing self, but here I am passing this, suppose. Okay, so down I'll write this dot wait. Doesn't matter. It won't give error. Python doesn't give error. Because that this and self and my and they are not at all what? Reserve word. Clear? What will be passed? You are able to see, no? Okay. Thought like I got disconnected. Okay. Coming to this.
Sir, voice was not coming.
That's what I thought. Some issue was there. Okay. You are able to hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. ठीक है. Yes, I was talking about the name. ठीक है. तो see here in this program, once I have wrote self, once I have written this, doesn't matter. Clear? See here. When I'll call money.meow, kitty.meow, so money's reference is hidden past in this. Kitty's reference is hidden past in this. Okay. Still, if you run, you'll get the same output. Doesn't matter. Instead of self, if I give me, clear? No problem. Here me.weight, me.color. But what will me receive? The reference of, fill in the blank. Yes, guys. What will me
Object.
receive? Reference of object, but which object?
Invoker object.
Invoker object. Invoker object, or the object in context of which that method is called. In which object context the method is called. Which object, or simple term, invoker. So if money is invoking, okay, if money is invoking, so money's reference is hidden past in me. Kitty's reference is hidden past in me. See here, if you run, doesn't matter. But whereas C++, it's a compulsory word this. Here it's not like that. You can give any name, but you have to pass that parameter. So as I said, universally Python community has accepted one name called self. So we also prefer using the name self, but it is not mandatory. Name is not mandatory, but the parameter is mandatory. Name you give anything, but that one compulsory parameter you have to pass. Getting? So I hope you got it. So what all things you can tell about self? That is clear to you? At a very very basic thing, tell me, whenever you create a class and you add methods in it. Methods means a function within the class. Function within the class. So whenever you add functions within the class, are these functions going to duplicate for each object? Or are these functions going to get loaded in one common shared namespace of that class namespace? Point number one, what I'm asking.
Common namespace holded by class.
Clear? That class common namespace, shared namespace. So is it getting loaded over there?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
So it is not going to get duplicated for each object. You create 100 objects, but those methods copy will be only one in the shared class namespace. Point one is clear to you. Okay. Now, what that self is, that is also clear to you. So when you create n number of objects and you call the same method, Remember the method called, though the object is changing, but the method called is same. The code run is same, but the memory referred is different. And which memory it is going to refer depends on value of
Self.
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 And value of self depends on
Invoker object.
invoker object. Clear? The concept is clear to you. So now we can talk about this. So quickly we'll move to the slides part. Okay. Now instead of meow, you could have overrided str method also. Now I didn't use the term override. Okay. So therefore I didn't showed you with that. But the same program you could have done it with overriding your str method instead of meow. See here, I'll show you the same program, and that program will have more benefit. Clear? What that benefit you'll get, that I'll tell you. See here. Okay. Instead of writing meow method, I am defining my own str. This is a dunder method. Is it a dunder method? Yes. You're seeing two double underscore both side. But if it is a dunder method, is it going to be a magic method?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, if it is a magic method, so are we supposed to call it explicitly by dot, or will it get implicitly called?
Implicitly called.
When it will be called implicitly? Whenever you will pass object of cat class to
Print function.
print function. So whenever to print function, if I pass object of cat class, hidden implicitly it will give call to this str. Okay, see here in this program, now I've created cat object, then set data I called, I initialized it. This is also approach of invoking. Both way you can do. Okay, so one I'll remove. Now I don't have to call this meow method. Can I just simply write print money? Can I simply write print kitty? Will it do or no? Yes, guys? You're able to hear me, no?
Yes, sir.
Huh. So what I'm saying is, now I have to make some change in that str. I'll tell you. What change I have to do is, I have to, instead of printing here, I have to return that string. Okay. So I'll write like this: return my meow my weight is, and I'll give like this brace bracket this dot weight, and my color is brace bracket this dot color. I hope you know this concept, right? Will it get interpolated? Whenever you write any variable name within a bracket, it gets substituted with the value. And this string it is returning. Okay. So now tell me, when I write print money and print kitty, here is some magic method going to get called implicitly. Yes or no? And this thing we have talked yesterday. Yesterday I told you about this. Now where it will search this magic method, that double underscore str. Will it search in money's class? And money is belonging to which class? Cat class.
Cat class.
So will it search in cat class? Yes. And
Yes, sir.
if it gets in cat class, will it call cats str only? Yes. So will it call this str? What say, guys? Clear? See here. Now if I run this, now this becomes more easy than the previous program. In the previous program, we were supposed to call meow method explicitly by writing money.meow, kitty.meow. The same work of meow is str doing. Getting? Is it still more abstraction? More abstraction level you have got. Getting? See here. Is the value printed? Only mistake. I didn't wrote F before it. That's the reason. Okay? Is it interpolated? Is the variable substituted with its value? Variable substituted with its value. And can you see in one context I have written this, in one context I have written self. Doesn't matter. Okay? But can I say this method is overrided? First of all, what do you mean by overriding? First tell me, is the concept overriding applicable only for inheritance? Inheritance means parent-child relation. Whenever there is a parent class and there is a child class. See here, there is a parent class and there is a child class. So when any method of the parent is redefined in the child, we call it as overriding. Getting? See here. Here there is one method foo, but that is in parent. And the child is also defining its own foo, but with different algorithm. Again, real life concept only. Getting? In real life also so many things from the previous generation we are carrying, but the algorithm we are changing. Don't we do that? Yes. Like from the previous generation, the definition of marriage has come. But at that time, the algorithm of marriage was different. And especially now in this pandemic, the definition of marriage is changed. Yes or no? So from parent, we have taken the name marriage, but the algorithm we are giving different. Here the algorithm is different, here the algorithm is different, but the name is same. Then this concept is called as overriding. So overriding means what? When any of the parent method is redefined in the child. Parent method is redefined in the child. Then we call it as overriding. So why should I say that str is overrided? Can anyone tell me? Many might be thinking today is asking lot of questions.
Every class is, having a parent as an object class.
Okay, yes, her OOP concepts are clear, I guess. Like she has done a lot of work in OOP, I think. Okay, so class cat. Is cat having parent class? Others other than Shweta? If we don't give parent to cat, is cat going to have any automatic parent?
Yes, object.
Yes, object.
Yesterday I told you object.
Yes.
Clear? So if I write then also okay, and if I don't write then also okay. Because yesterday I told you no class will remain orphan. Means Python sees that this class is not having parent. It will automatically give one parent. That is object. Object is like a God class. Like in real life also when parents lost, so others say, like don't worry, God is there with you. Clear? So here also, if it is not having parent, automatic it will get one parent. That is object. And now as Shweta said, in this class we already have what? Can you tell me in object class already what is there? Which method is already there in object class?
STR method.
STR method.
STR.
Yes or no? So that str method is already there in object class, and in my class I am redefining it. So should I say that it is overriding?
Yes, sir.
Clear? So can anyone again tell me in short why we should call it as overriding? Why we should call str is overrided? Why this method is overrided? First of all, is overriding definition clear to you? What do you mean by overriding? That is clear to you or no? In simple terms, tell me, what is overriding? Method of parent redefined in
class.
Define in child.
redefined in child, right? Exactly. So now tell me, your class was cat class. Who is the parent of cat? Object. In object class already what is present? Is this method already there in object class? Yes. But now in my cat class, if I write def double underscore str double underscore, am I supposed to say it overrided? Yes, indeed. See, the parent method redefined in child method. Okay. So a lot of things I'm telling you, but maybe all the explanations are not on the slide. Clear? See here. So I created one cat class, then I wrote one set data, to which one compulsory self, then h, and then c that I've copied in height and color. One meow, in meow I'm printing it. Meow my height is self.height, self.color. Okay, then you created object. Two objects you have created. Then you called set data. When you call money set data, see here, when I'm calling money.set data, so is this money hidden past, which will come in self. So now self is containing whose reference? Money's reference. And second time when I called set data, what is coming in self? Kitty's reference. Okay, so it will add these two properties in kitty object, and first time it will add these two property in money object. Getting? So accordingly the properties are added in respective object. Same thing can I do it with this way also. Here you can see, is it hidden past or explicitly passed? Is money hidden past or we are explicitly passing? By seeing this, it is more convinced. See here, you are passing 3 argument, here there are 3 argument. Money's reference has come in self. Second time kitty's reference has come in self. This proves that in both contexts the method called is same, but the code run is same, but the memory referred is different. And which memory it is going to refer depends on value of this, and value of this depends on invoker object. Clear? I hope it is clear. And same way when I am writing money.meow, kitty.meow. So when meow is invoked by kitty, so that time self contains kitty's reference, so it will refer kitty's property. And now when meow is called, money is invoking, so self contains money's reference, so self will refer whose memory? Money's memory. You can call it this way also. Correct? Now in this code, obviously you might have seen some advantages comparative to the previous program, where we created an empty class and then we created object and then we added property. So 2 drawbacks we saw, that is redundancy. So here, is the redundancy avoided? What say guys? Is that initialization logic? Is this initialization logic which was repeating for every object in the previous program, is it gone? Means, is the repetition avoided? Are we supposed to write this initialization logic for each object again? For money separate, for kitty separate? No. This printing logic which we were printing separately, is it gone once only within that method and we just call that method as many times we want? So is the redundancy of the code avoided in this program?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we have overcome that drawback. Second, is this more cleaner code? Is it more elegant code? And is it more manageable code? Okay. And is more abstraction achieved in this? What? This logics are hidden within the function. Ideally, you are creating class and you are only creating object. But in real software world, classes X entity make, they distribute it to others and others just create object of their classes. Isn't it or no? Which we did in the previous chapter. See, in the previous chapter already they gave you classes. Which classes? list class, tuple class, dictionary class, set class. We were just creating objects and accessing its methods. We are not knowing how that classes are developed. Same concept. So is the abstraction also achieved over here? Yes. But still this program is having one drawback, and to overcome that drawback, one more concept we are going to learn. Okay, so that we'll learn separately. Before that, we'll just talk about self. Okay, so can any of you give me points what you understood about self, and then we'll go through the slide. What all things you understood about self? Tell me. Okay, 1 point from everyone I want. Each and everyone will give one point each.
Self is a imaginary word which is used by the Python
Okay,
community.
means that Python community has just accepted universally that word self,
But it is not a reserved keyword.
it's not a keyword, right?
Right. Next is like only
You can
one
say
one
the
we have to
default
learn.
parameter.
Yes, okay. He's saying it is one default parameter. Instead of calling default, you can say it as it is an hidden parameter.
Okay.
Correct? But it's a compulsory parameter. It's a mandatory parameter, compulsory parameter, but it is hidden. Why hidden? Because we don't pass it explicitly. We just write money.setData weight color. Did I pass self? No. It was hidden passed. So money's reference came in self. Okay? So one thing Rajesh said, it is not a compulsory name. It is just an hypothetical, imaginary name decided by Python community, and everyone universally is accepting that name. But it is not at all a reserve word or a keyword. Instead of self, you can use any other name, whatever name you want, which I showed you also, right? And Sanjay said that it is hidden past. Okay, it is a hidden past value. Okay, then
One more thing, it's an object which keeps the reference of invoker.
yes, that is compulsory point. That is the main point. That it is an object which contains reference of the invoker. So if money is invoking, money's reference will come in self. If Kitty is invoking, Kitty's reference will come in self. So who is invoking, its reference is coming in self. Getting? Then anything else? No? Which I told that whenever you create a class and you add methods in it, so are methods duplicated or are they kept common only in one namespace?
One in class namespace.
Class namespace. Clear? So whenever you invoke the method, the same method is called. Same code is run. Only the memory referred is different. And which memory it is referring? Who is responsible for it?
Parameter.
Which parameter? Self parameter.
Self.
Clear? Self is responsible. And value of self depends on invoker. Okay? So I guess lot we have talked about it. Okay. Coming to self, let's discuss this in detail. So here I have wrote similar to this pointer in C++ or this reference in Java. Just I have related it. Those who don't know those languages, leave it. Now in Python, you got to know what is self. So when you learn that, it will get related. But I guess mostly many of you know C++ and Java. So it is similar to this pointer in C++ or this reference in Java. Okay? See, first I'm trying to explain that. When you create a class, you add data, you add method, and then you create hundreds of objects. So all that object will have their own instance data. but method copy will be only once. Clear? See, as many objects you create, only instance data is duplicated, not methods. I was supposed to take a pause over here, maybe comma or something. Only instance data is duplicated, not methods. Means it is clear? Height and weight is there, or height and color. So every object will have its own height color, because it's an instance data. But that set data meow, set data and meow will be existing only once. I hope it is clear. Right? That is, method copy exists only once. As an example, I am telling कि money object got created, it will have height color. Kitty got created, height color. But remember, initially when the object get created, they don't have this property according to Python. When you create money equal to cat round bucket, kitty equal to cat round, they are empty at that time. But when you will write money dot set data, that time runtime two properties are added in self. But when the property added in self means it is added in that respective object. But these properties get added in the respective object, okay, in their namespace. And this is the class namespace where common once only meow and set data is there. Clear? So now tell me, is the set data for money also and kitty also called is same? Yes. The code run same. Only the memory referred different. Which memory referred depends on self, and value of self depends on invoker. So who is going to invoke set data? Its reference come in self, and accordingly it will refer that memory. Getting clear? So see, methods are able to access, as because here we have stated it is only one copy. So how the method knows whose data to access? So methods are able to access instance data of the object with the help of self. Self plays very important role. Okay, self contains reference of invoker object. Clear? All of you told one point. He said this point. Clear? So that is, it contains reference of current object, which is invoking it. Right? See, now I have written set data 4.5 red. Okay. But who is invoking set data? Money. So set data called will be same. But value of self that time is money's reference. So is self pointing now to money memory? Yes. So it will add that two properties in money's memory. Now self contains reference of money. And later if I call kitty.setData, now also the set data called is same. The same code will run. Only the value of self is different. Now self contains kitty's reference. Therefore it is referring this memory. So it will add that two properties in kitty's memory. Getting? So now self contains kitty's reference. I hope you got it. Getting? So self is always passed implicitly. That is a hidden argument to method. Okay? And name self is not compulsory. As Rajesh said, as Sanjay said, clear? You got it. This part also some students said. Means when you answered means the concept to you people is clear. Okay? So name self is not compulsory. You can give any other name. It is just a universally accepted name. Okay? Now what merits you see in this program? There is still a drawback in this program which I will be telling you, and to overcome that we are going to discuss one more concept. One new concept is now in pipeline. Okay? But what merits now you are seeing in this code?
Redundancy is avoided.
Yes, one point. Redundancy is about. Yes, abstraction also at one extent. Means till some extent. you have tried to achieve abstraction. Getting? And by putting that repeated code in methods, does it become more elegant code also? It becomes a cleaner code. It becomes a manageable code.
Yeah,
Right?
analysis is faster than
Yes,
earlier code.
yes. Clear? Yes.
Troubleshooting, issue resolution, so lot of
Yes,
things.
yes, very good, clear, obviously. The troubleshooting also, if you want to do, the previous code was difficult to troubleshoot. Now, if you go to methods, so only that method is to be troubleshooted. No? Clear? So that all advantages you see. But still, there is one drawback, which
Memory point of view is also improvised, right?
no, memory previously also was taking same, no? Because money will have height weight, kitty will have height weight. Now also they both have that much only. Data, instance data is not changing. Previously also it was having that much instance data only. Now it also having same instance data. Getting?
Right.
Your program code, if you want to say, then it is okay. The size of your code, if you want to say, that point of way you are saying, then obviously your script size is getting reduced with this way. Getting? Okay. So all that advantages you are seeing, redundancy, that is the repetition of code avoided, clean and elegant code, abstraction achieved to some extent, clear? But still there is one drawback. Now what is that drawback? That I'll try to justify. Clear? That drawback is, unless and until you call set data, okay, unless and until you call set data, that object won't get that properties. You understanding or no? Clear? Means these properties won't get added in that self. Actually this weight property get added in self, color property get added in self. But when are these two properties added? When set is called, means set data is called. So unless and until you call set data, these two lines won't get executed and these two properties won't get added in that object. Money won't get weight, money won't get color, kitty won't get weight, kitty won't get color. Meaning the object doesn't get property and the properties are not initialized unless and until you call set data. So suppose for any object, okay, accidentally you forgot to call set data. You understanding? And directly you are printing it. Like for example, money, kitty, any other name of cat, which is commonly, any name you can take. Okay.
Tom.
Okay. So he's a he cat, not she cat. Okay.
Tom and Jerry.
Yes, yes. Okay. ठीक है. So Tom equal to cat. Clear? Normally cat means always it is normal, automatic in our brain that she cat only come and then we give names that way only. No? Clear? Anyways. So Tom equal to cat. So now cat object is created. One more. Right? But is that Tom having height and color or weight and color yet? One more cat object is created, but is that object having any properties? Yesterday I told you all properties get added in one dictionary and it's having one dictionary internally. So are that properties yet added to Tom? No. They will get added to Tom only when Tom calls set data. So unless and until tom.set data you call and you pass some value, this code is not going to get executed. And as this code will not execute, will weight and color get added in Tom? In Tom, weight and color won't get added. And if you directly try to print Tom, see here, is it going to call that dunder method? Will it call that magic method for Tom? Yes. But when it tries to call this magic method, inside that it is accessing weight and color of this. But who is this at that time? Tom. So Tom is not having only weight and color. It will throw attribute error. It will say cat object doesn't have attribute weight. Why? Because Python, everything is runtime. See here. Is it giving? an attribute error. Cat object has no attribute weight. Why? Because yet in Tom object what is not added only. For money and kitty they added, because money object created, kitty object created, and money set data called kitty set data. So as set data is called for money, are these two properties added? That time self is money. So when you are adding the property in self means you are adding in money. Second time self is kitty. So these two properties are added in kitty. Right or no? And here what happened is you forgot to call that set data. Means set data is to be called explicitly. Unless and until you call that set data explicitly for that respective object, the object won't get properties. Getting? See here, when you write print Tom, it calls this str, but when it tries to print this weight and this height, so this is not having only weight and height. Who is this at that time? Whose reference is there in this? Is Tom's reference is there in this? Yes or no, guys? Is this str now called for Tom? It is actually an magic method, therefore it gets called implicitly. If you call explicitly, you will write like this. Yes or no? So str is called for whom? Tom. So Tom's reference will come in this, and this dot weight means Tom dot weight, but Tom dot weight is not there only, because for Tom what we have not called only. Yes, guys. Set data. So therefore it generated an error. Can you see? See here, it has given an error. Doesn't have an attribute weight. Now it got error here, so it didn't move ahead only. It didn't told you about this. Okay? So what you observed from this, unless and until we don't call set data, unless and until we don't call set data explicitly for each object, object won't get property. Means objects will remain uninitialized. Getting? So now there has to be some provision, because accidentally if you forgot to call set data, then the object may remain uninitialized only, no? Isn't it or no? So there has to be some technique by which this set data also should behave like a magic method. Means code same of set data, same logic, the same. We are not going to change any line. But this code should run automatically, implicitly. I don't have to call this set data explicitly by dot operator. You understanding, my dear students? What I want is that the object will compulsory get initialized whenever the object is created. What I want is the object should get initialized immediately after it is created. It is again like a real life concept. Real life, like baby is born and then there is a naming ceremony, right? So many times parents delay that naming ceremony. The baby is born, then they say, "Lo, we'll do it after for 12 days, then 40 days, then by that way the first birthday come, till that the naming ceremony has not happened only, isn't it? So here what should happen? The moment the baby is born, immediately the naming ceremony should take place. No question of delaying only. Getting clear? Huh.
So constructor do the same
Does
thing.
the same thing. So ultimately I am trying to come to that thing only, no? Yes or no? Clear? You are not a teacher, no? So as you are not teacher, so you want to come to the point immediately. You know, from your point you are saying, my dear, please come to the point. Immediately you come to the point. But as I am teacher, so I have to take you from many points and then I'll come there, no? Correct? So ultimately I have to tell you the same thing, that is constructor. So I'm trying to tell you that this set data should also behave like a which method? Tell me. Should it behave like a magic method?
Yes.
Magic method means a method which is
Im-
called
implicitly.
implicitly. meaning we don't have to call it explicitly using dot operator. Getting? And that activity who will do one more magic method which he already stated, that is constructor. Getting? So are constructors also magic methods? Yes. Okay. So constructors are magic method, meaning they are called implicitly, but they are called whenever the object is created. Immediately when the object is created, immediately after that magic method. See, there are different magic method, but when they are implicitly called, the situations are different. No? Like this magic method is called when this str, when you pass object to print. So same way, constructor is a magic method which is called implicitly when the object is created. Getting? Quickly I'll tell you, and then in the next session we'll talk about that too. Okay, I'll just give you the demonstration so that you'll get an idea. More practically, if we do less of theoretical thing, so you understand it more easily. Okay, see here. Now this set data, I'm changing to one more magic method. Its name is double underscore init. Clear? This much part. Okay, double underscore init, double underscore. As it's a magic method, it has to be a dunder method. That is the rule of Python. Python says every magic methods are dunder method, or every dunder method is a magic method. And if it's a magic method, it is called implicitly. You don't have to call it explicitly. Now here what benefit you will get? See here. When you will create object, that time only you will pass parameters. See, 4.5, okay, black, 6.3, white. Means what is happening now? Can you people tell me? Here, cat object is created, cat object. And then is it hidden going to call this method? Is this method called? And is that method called like this? Cat dot double underscore init double underscore. What is passed? Money, then 4.5 and black. You understanding or no? But what is the speciality of this magic method? The speciality is it is called immediately after the object is created. So the moment object is created, it will give call to this. Okay. So what guarantee it gives? This gives what guarantee? That object will get properties immediately after it is created. Means no chance that object will remain uninitialized. Getting? Means here one benefit you will get, that you don't have to call set data explicitly. What do you say, guys? Are we supposed to call now set data explicitly or no? So is that set data only getting called automatically when the object is created? When the object created, immediately that set data is only called. Only the name of that set data is double underscore init. This magic method. So now here see, when you create Tom object, you cannot leave this blank. You have to pass value for Tom. You got it or no? Clear? You have to pass some value. Okay? And as you have to compulsory pass value over here in round bracket, your objects are sure going to get initialized. They are uninitialized, no chance only. Getting? So as I said, when the baby is born, immediately the naming ceremony is taking. That the naming program is not delayed only. The moment the object is created, at that moment only, immediately they will get properties. Getting? And therefore, such error won't arise only. What I did. Oh, I wrote a new program. I am compiling the previous one. See, the error is gone and all three. and here is the code still reduced from the previous one. See here this set data calling also is gone, because this whole thing you're passing here only to the constructor.